Today, NaVi's newest member, Yatta, is going to show us that Mass Dragons with one clone spell is the strongest spam strategy in the game, and it's really easy to do. This here is the toughest part of this attack strategy, using the giant arrow to get as much value as possible. But you can see Yatta doesn't even do it perfectly. He only gets one of the sweepers, doesn't get any air defenses, but that isn't enough for this attack strategy. So we have the queen on one side with the giant arrow and now the healer puppet. Then we have a few dragons go to the top. They're going to set the funnel, and now we're coming in with the clone balloons. So you can see the blimp opens here. The clone spell starts immediately, but if you've got a keen eye, you'll notice that there's a super dragon in there. So you bring the clone spell to get the loons with the super dragon, and look at that, the super dragon's doing amazing value. Now we reinforce our queen with the king, so you don't put your king down immediately. Wait until your queen's taken a bit more damage, then put the king down to help out. You can put the royal champion essentially wherever you want. You can probably swagger with this attack strategy a lot, and look at how quickly we get through the base. We've still got a couple of spells left. The dragons on the top side have done a brilliant job. And essentially, it's all about the heroes here after, because yes, it looks bad that most of the dragons have died out, but does that really matter? No, because the power of heroes is insane. The king does go down, but the RC has still got her ability. We've got a bunch of spells with her. He also does bring a bunch of super barbs with this army, which I like. It helps finish off the base and funnel the dragons and heroes into the core, and this base got wrecked in 90 seconds. And this base is exactly why we bring the giant arrow with the queen. There are so many double invis bases, but have a look at this. We activate the invis tower and we get the sweeper that would have been facing our air spam. Really nice attack. Think of the last attack, right? There was no invis towers, but the giant arrow still got value on the sweeper. But have a look at this. The blimp gets completely and utterly baited. How on earth is Yatta gonna save this? Well, we come in, the loons still do go to the core. We use the clone spell here, and look at the value the clone's gonna get. Gets rid of a lot of the core, including the invis tower. Now, I don't know why he doesn't rage the dragon on the bottom side here. I'm pretty sure if he raged the dragon, he does get the town hall, but I'm guessing Yatta's just not really scared of failing when you're coming in with the best spam strategy in the game. So we have the dragons, including the super dragon, on the top side of the base doing work. We have the king and queen on the bottom side. The king ability is about to go off. We use the one wall breaker. Now, you're seeing the value the super barbs can get, because we've already kind of funneled the king to go in for the royal champion here. Unfortunately, we pull out the whole triple ice golem CC. Queen is still hanging on here. She will just get rid of this scatter shot before dealing with the ice golem CC. Now we've got the skeleton spell. The skeleton spell is for a lot of uses with this army. You can use it with the dragons if there's a bunch of single infernos, but generally you want to save it for the heroes, because look, the royal champion's just never going to get targeted here. Now this attack does look really close, and don't get me wrong, he gets kind of carried a bit by the higher level hero equipment he has here, but I think even with average level hero equipment, you would have been able to save this, and that is the measure of a good spam strategy in this game. If you get baited, you should still be able to recover, and Yatta does that here. Town Hall goes down, and he still tripled this in less than 2 minutes. Now this base doesn't have any invis towers, and both sweepers are facing the opposite direction of where we're coming in from. So what value can we get with the giant arrow? Well, look at this. 1, 2 air defenses. I mean, obviously air defenses aren't the best air defense in the game, kind of ironic to say that, but still, that is mega value. So good to know with the giant arrow that there's always value you can get. Now have a look at the clone spell here. The NATO pulls the balloons to the left, so we completely and utterly swag the clone spell here. And I wish I could say this is the only time Yatta does this, but quite a few of the replays he shared with me, he does not get any value from the clone in terms of just purely swagging it. And I think that shows how strong this army is, if you can swag the clone spell consistently and still get 3 stars. Now, often when he messes up the clone spell in the core of the base, he's going to come in with the royal champion to essentially get the value that the clone should have. So the royal champion comes in here, deals with the scatter shot. We're going to use the rage, and have a look at the hogs go to work here. I mean, they're going to get so much value in the core of the base. It sounds crazy, but the RC is going to live throughout this attack. We've still got all of these super bobs. Now, kind of touched on it earlier. I can kind of finish it here. The super barbs, if you really wanted, you could drop all the super barbs and bring like an extra dragon and an extra 3 loons if you wanted. You could bring an extra baby dragon. They're just there purely for funneling. You can use them for the heroes, for the dragons. They are very versatile troop. Also handy to make the attack go quicker, which is what Yatta is going for, but not necessarily you. Yatta recently joined the Blueprint team, and to celebrate, there is a Yatta Legends League pack. It's got 3 new meta-oriented bases for all trophy levels, and I can't recommend you get it enough. Look at how quick this attack is. How quick do you think he does it? We will see in a second. Worth noting, he does mess up the arrow with this attack. So look at that, 1 minute 7. He is going for both of the sweepers, you see, so I'm angling off to the left, and he just misses one of these sweepers. So you don't have to be perfect with the giant arrow. It's not easy to do, honestly. I'm not expecting all of you at home to be able to perfect it every time, but as long as you get a lot of good ones, you'll be alright. Look at this blimp pull all the traps. Worth noting though, not going for the town hall with the blimp, because look, there is no clone value near the town hall at all, so why would we use the blimp there? The dragon gets rid of the defensive queen, and that's why we bring the super dragon with it, right? We don't need 10 loons plus another 8 clone ones. Just having 2 plus the 8 clone ones is fine. Have the super dragon get rid of everything else in the area. And whilst it does look risky leaving the town hall up for last, dragons are so strong at the moment. If your clone spell's going to get more value in the core of a box base, which is a pretty frequent thing, because often there's not a lot of value by the town hall, then just do that. And I mean, look at this. 67 seconds is how long it took for Yatta to 3-star this box base. You gotta come in from the back end, maximize the blimp value, and get the triple. Now we're coming in on a diamond base. Let's see what value we can get with giant arrows. So just off center, and we get rid of the sweeper that's going to be facing our dragons in the center of the base. And we're going to kind of hit this similar to how we hit the box base. So an extremely early warden ability here. Probably a little bit too early, but doesn't really matter. And I think this attack will show you why a lot of you at home have to try this attack strategy, because you can completely and utterly YOLO it. We get the clone spell down just in time. 2 rage balloons go and get rid of the monolith. We also get the scatter and a few other buildings too. And look, this looks incredibly risky. If this was Town Hall 15, this is very much all or nothing. But at Town Hall 16, this does not feel like all or nothing. It just feels like unless the clone spell gets 0 value, even then though, we saw it earlier in the video, it doesn't matter. Unless you mess up something ridiculously, you will just overwhelm the base. Your troops have way too many hit points. Still got plenty of dragons up. We still got the king ability. Yet again, I'll reiterate this, you do not need to put your king down at the start of the battle. Wait probably 15 to 20 seconds. You can even just wait until you've done your clone, then put the king in front of the queen. He'll start tanking for her beautifully, because the queen's not exactly isolated when she's got all those healers from her ability nice and early. Then we use the RC, we just pop her ability instantly on the top side to help get rid of the back end of the base. And look at this, right? The blimp technically got baited, got nowhere near the town hall, but it doesn't matter. Leave the town hall for last. Finish off the base, and I mean, look at this. This is another triple in 90 seconds. We're going to be able to fit like 6 attacks in this video. An unusual looking base, but just treat it like those double invis bases where there's no invis near the town hall. So the giant arrow goes across, gets rid of the sweeper that would have been facing our dragon push. But look at this. No blimp with this ability. Why is that? Well, we don't really need the blimp to get our troops to target the town hall. The troops will go there. There's plenty of buildings nearby, and the invis tower over here should actually push our troops towards the town hall. On top of that, we don't really need the clone spell with that push for the town hall. Our troops are more than capable of doing it. So you're actually going to see in a second, we use the clone spell on the bottom side of the base here. Really nicely done. Anyways, back to the top side of the base, we see the rage for the dragons to get the town hall. And then as soon as this invis tower that I've had selected for the last half a minute gets activated, we use our stone slammer to come in and finish off the area. We've got a rage spell if needed, and I believe he does use the rage spell. No, I'm completely mistaken. Just going to go straight through the area without a spell at all. Really nicely done. We've got the king and queen on the bottom side, and their job's just to deal with the back end of the base. Now, there is still a lot up, but really, heroes can easily get through this. The RC is going to come in and get the eagle. The king's coming in from the bottom side. Got plenty of spells on this one, and this is completely and utterly wrecked. And a good way to show that you don't have to use the blimp every attack. We've seen you don't necessarily have to go after the town hall every attack, but in this one, particularly when there's 2 invis towers not next to the town hall, you might want to save the stone slammer to clear one of them once the dragon activates the invis tower. And if you're not sold on this attack from this video, I don't know what will make you. The hardest thing is the giant arrow, but even if you do mess it up, you're still gonna get some amazing value with it, and you're still gonna get the 3 stars.